A new storm has formed in season number 4. It's a grand national tour that ends near the California shores. Home track heroes take on big league talent. OGs return while fresh meat joins the fold. In a competition where fortune only rewards the bold. So who's willing to knock off a few doors? It's about who wants it more. In 2024.
This is what you're waiting for. I think we're ready to rock.
Sean Bounty, a third-time winner. Ryan Truex gets it done.
Clapper goes 3-1 and passes several cars. Foley comes out of the final corner to win.
Jordan Durasic will win this race.
Here they come across the line. Your race winner is going to be Matt Cherry.
See, in the end, nobody really cares where you got your start. The only thing that matters is where you finish.
The 2023 Thunderclap iRacing Series champion is Ryan Truex.
All of the battles, all of the beef, all of the great racing through 16 races of the Thunderclap iRacing Series leads up to this, the start of the Thunderclap iRacing Series playoffs here at Nashville Superspeedway. Round number 1, I believe it is the forming 16 here, and we are here at Nashville Superspeedway for a night race in the Xfinity cars. 150 laps these guys get to tackle on here tonight. It's going to be a good one. My name is Nick Stein, Joe LaCastro for the color commentary, and of course, Austin Derbyshire, as always, in the production truck. And we'll get a nice, good Google Earth view of Nashville Superspeedway, which is normally really hot, but thank goodness it's nighttime here.
Yeah, good evening, Nick, and welcome to Nashville. We got a beautiful race ahead of us on concrete all night long. Look at this racetrack. This racetrack is interesting. I'm going to throw a little bit of history at you, color commentary style. This racetrack was commissioned in the early 2000s and was actually taken out of commission in 2010. Was not used for almost 10 years and was fresh back on the circuit. So we've only been racing back on it for the last couple of years, and it's good to see it getting IndyCar and NASCAR races going on it here.
I tell you what, I may not be the most fond of Nashville when it comes to NASCAR, but you put me in an IndyCar here, I will wax everyone day in and day out.
Whoa.
I love IndyCar here in Nashville, but we're here for the Xfinity Series, as it is going to be a little bit more difficult with these quote-unquote bricks of race cars, and I believe you got some keys to the race for us here, Joe.
That's right, I do. I've got 3 keys to the race for you. The first one you may have already heard me mention. It's that the surface of this is a concrete track. Asphalt versus concrete, rubber on both surfaces reacts differently. So if you're driving the same way you would drive on an asphalt track, you're going to have a bad time. It doesn't grip quite the same, and it wears tires differently. This is going to be a different, for 150 laps, you're going to see marked differences in how the tires react here. So let's move from point 1 on to point number 2. You got concrete now banked at 14 degrees. We've seen super speedways before. We expect them to have banking, but this is a wide, relatively shallow amount of banking. Even in the straight sections where there is a little bit less than 14 degrees, the whole track is banked all the way around. And that banking is going to lead to cars trying to carry energy through turns and sliding up to the outside along that concrete. And now the last point is what cars are going to be doing the sliding. Those cars are Xfinity cars. And the Xfinity series cars, they're just a step up from the ARCA, from the Gen 4 cars that we've seen race around here before. and they're just a step down from the madcap speed that we would see from the Cup cars. But still, these are cars built to drift in situations like this. I am expecting a lot of cars to be sideways, either on turn 1 or turn 149. There's going to be a lot of bumping and a lot of sliding.
Yeah, Nashville's always known as a bumpy track, and with that, you gotta know who is good on these bumpy tracks. So for some broadcast picks, I'm gonna go ahead and take the 21 of Tristan Bruce. Him and Jordan Durasic are the only guys that have 3 wins this season. Both of them looking to make it number 4 tonight. Hoping it's gonna be that 21 car, but you know my luck with the picks. Whoever I pick usually has a bad race, so I should have picked Durasic in that aspect.
Well, we're both trying to avoid picking maybe someone who might get us ridiculed a little bit for shooting straight for the top. My pick, though, Chase Albright, number 49. A great qualifying time. I was watching the numbers go by a little bit there, and I'm thinking that if there's someone who's going to have a chance to shoot for the top, it could very well be the number 49 tonight.
Yeah, Chase Albright's had himself a bit of a up-and-coming season so far, but you see right there, Darby taking the 19 and Matt Garrett, who starts second tonight. Speaking of starting positions, we're going to go ahead and get straight into our starting grid here tonight for this 150-lap duel at the concrete oval of Nashville Superspeedway. It's going to be Jordan Durasic, Port Lavaca, Texas. Nothing new there. He's been on pole pretty much every race this season, but it's who is on his outside that's a little bit different here tonight. Matt Garrett in the 19 machine with a 30.253. Chase Albright starting in that 3rd spot. Robert Walton going to be in 4th. Tristan Bruce is going to start off 5th place tonight. Thomas Aaron going to be in 6th. Brandon Slew in 7th. Number 8 on the grid going to be number 8 in car, Andrew Olazewski. Number 9, Noah Rainwater in that 9th spot in the 0-5. And then Matthew Montgomery rounds out your top 10.
All right, here we go. Matt Holmes on the inside in the number 5. Justin Clapper in the 63. Next up, Austin Cooper in the 12. Gregory Shepsis in the 27. Anthony Burleson in the 79. Bo Condon in the 25 car. Todd Lee in the 46. And Matt Cherry in the 45. Joshua Kerner in the 16. I think I pronounced that right. And Brandon Schumann in the 52.
3 more cars to finish off this grid. Robert Colgan in the 21st spot in the 94 car. Kyle Bartles just missed the playoffs purely based off of participation in the 95 machine. He starts 22nd tonight. And Steven Lachinsky starts shotgun on the field tonight. 23 cars here at Nashville Superspeedway. It is expected to be a good one. If you're just now joining us, welcome on in, guys. Stay a while. We got ourselves a great race that should be coming up here. Expecting lots of single file racing, as Nashville is a track you want to stick on the yellow line, but if you want to, you can make passes here, and these guys always put on a show at these mid-tier tracks here, these mile-and-a-half-esque tracks, cookie cutters, if you will, and it is set to be a great race tonight. I am just excited to get into this one.
Yeah, me too. I raced a little bit on this track earlier in iRacing. I did not do well during that race. And so I would like to maybe learn a little bit something, see what the cars at the front do here, how they get that lead and how they keep that lead in these kind of situations when all it takes is one lapse in judgment and you're sliding around the track, potentially losing tenths of seconds every time you go around. You could have been great for dozens of laps here, and then all of a sudden your car is going to make you ungreat. And I want to see how some of the best that we've got in this series, and at the top of the playoffs especially, are going to try to get an early lead in points and keep it.
Yeah, and another thing we have to mention here tonight is these guys need to watch out for the walls coming up off the corners. This place is similar to Rockingham in a way, where if you get off the corner a little bit too aggressively, this track will make you pay for it, especially off of turn 4. If you come up with just the wrong angle by not even a degree, you're slapping that wall off of turn 4 and pretty much ruining your race. So that'll be something to keep an eye on here tonight, as a lot of these guys are going to be trying to gain as much time as they can coming off these corners.
I'm expecting to see a lot of speed trying to get carried. I'm expecting to see a lot of guys trying to ride the middle line at full speed without touching the brakes as much as possible. But here we go. The pace car's off.
Yeah, pace car is off. Jordan Durasic controlling this restart. And as we say every week, Green flag in the air presented by Pine Golf. The playoffs are underway for the Thunderclap iRacing Series. Jordan Jurassic gets a decent restart. Matt Garrett actually sticking into his outside. Not something we're used to seeing here on these initial laps, but is going to be Jordan Jurassic using that much preferred inside line to take a commanding lead off of turn number 2.
And the cars are lined up now. Chase Albright, my pick at number 2 right now, by a nose, barely ahead of Matt Garrett. The cars are not, no one's making big moves at the moment. Everyone's kind of staying still with these. This pack is still 2x2, almost all the way back.
Oh, Walton the wall, big time hit off of turn number 4. Robert Walton gets loose and smacks the wall crossing the finish line.
We are still green as well. I don't see the yellow flag out, so whatever happened, happened, and it's gone. We may not get a chance to catch back up on that in the meantime, but let's see where things are. I don't see anybody else who got caught up in that. I'm trying to check the times right now to see if anyone got bumped out, but I think it might have been a recovery, a quick recovery.
Yeah, it was, and I mean, that was point blank exactly what I said right before the green flag dropped. Watch out for that outside wall off of turn number 4. As we look at a replay here, you'll see Robert Walton gets a little bit loose on top of Tristan Bruce, and that 21 machine just gets off a little bit too high. And bam, 2 hits for the 66.
That is a cage rattler, and he fell back after that, but he did not fall off the track, and so that's why we're still racing, still going around. With at the front, Jurassic and Albright, with your pick, Tristan Bruce now in 3rd, up 2 places.
Hey, all 3 of our race picks here on Grid Vision, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now. Jordan Jurassic still leads this race by about a 10th over Chase Albright, just 4 laps into this thing. And it is definitely starting to calm down a little bit. We're really starting to see who's saving their tires and who's starting to pick up the pace just a little bit, but it definitely looks like Jordan Jurassic is saving compared to Chase Albright at the moment.
Absolutely. Watch for now we get this sort of string of pearls effect as the cars down to the inside. The 63 of Justin Clapper trying to make a move. Maybe when he wants to get that nose just a little bit further ahead of Brandon Slew, and I think he's got it. Yeah, the tire saving is going to happen. Watch for drafting. Watch for the lack of activity, but maybe cars pairing up, trying to work together, make the guy in front of him eat some of that air and work his tires a little bit harder. This is a track that's going to benefit from these guys driving together in a straight line, especially for 150 laps.
Yeah, for sure, but this first stage here, all the way up to lap 30 here, we're going to see a lot of guys pushing, trying to make up as many spots as they can, just to try and get stage points to get a good start to the playoffs here. So that's going to be lap 30 is that stage 1 break, and then 66 is that stage 2 break. So we've got 2 stage breaks here. We're definitely going to see a lot of pushing on in this first stage, just trying to get those stage points, as I mentioned, and get yourself as good of a start as possible.
Absolutely. Thank you for the reminder there. I completely slipped my mind that we were doing this in stages. This almost makes it like it's 3 separate races at that point. With the chance to get fresh tires, only 30 laps in, that's about the time your tires are going to be waking up and getting into their stride, or just about the time they're about turning over if you've been driving really hard. And based on what we're seeing now, we've got that string of pearls still at the front, but in the middle of the pack, we've still got cars bunching up 3 wide as they come around.
3 wide, I heard just there. Yeah, about 10th position, it looks like. Looks like they've pretty much single filed or double filed out. That's actually Matt Garrett. What happened to the 19 of Matt Garrett? He was 4th, but now he's sitting.
Yeah.
Back in about 10th or 11th.
Don't see a lot of damage on the car, at least not from the angles I'm seeing. So could be something up in his head, but we're going to have to follow and find out.
I think he just got caught on the outside here. I mean, you see Thomas Aaron makes a move, and it is just a long train of cars behind him, and I just don't think he was ever able to get off the top line here, and that's what lost him so much time.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Watching
right
now.
Here.
Yeah, let's take it back. Here we go. Back to live. Lap 10 coming up.
10 laps into this race, just getting started here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. Jordan Jurassic still leads, just 10 laps in. Chase Albright's been chasing him down slowly. Tristan Bruce been lurking in the shadows in that 3rd spot. Thomas Aaron and Noah Rainwater, your top 5 very early on into this race. Still got a long way to go, as it is Nashville, and this track just wears you out. Trust me, I know from personal experience. This track, it'll eat you up and spit you out, kind of like Dover does if you're not careful.
Yeah, and this is the eating aspect of it. It's the desire to drive fast is going to get your car chewed up. And that seems like counterintuitive here, but if you can play to the strengths of Nashville, which is the concrete, the low banking, it'll pay off. It's not going to be glamorous looking when you're doing it, but it's going to pay off. And everybody else who decides to try to push themselves are going to be the ones who are really rolling the dice here. So at the front, we got these two cars pacing each other. I don't think Chase Albright is trying for place against the number one right now. He'd be happy just to be in second place.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna kind of take your job here for just a second and throw a little bit of in-depth analysis here about
Please
kind
do.
of what is going on here. The Xfinity car has always been known as a car that you want to let do the work. So you don't really want to push this car into the corner. You really want to let the car just rotate itself through the corner. You're really only braking in a straight line, and then you're kind of using the throttle to turn as you get down into the corner. So the Xfinity car is really a car you just want to let it do its own thing, and you're kind of just along for the ride at that point, just keeping it under control. But when you get to a track like Nashville, where it's concrete, the tires are going to wear, and with its low banking, it's so counterintuitive to drive this place, because you have to save tires, but you also kind of want to drive it in not as hard as you would expect these guys to. Because I mean, if we go on board with someone here, just someone random, doesn't really matter. You'll see how early they're getting off the gas and onto the brakes here, as coming up off of turn number 2. Just look how early he gets onto the brakes here down into turn number 3. He's braking at that, I believe that was Rackley's sign right there, going down into turn number 3. And in other cars, you're braking way later into the corner than you are with the Xfinity car here, because it's all about tire saving. That's all this car is at a concrete track, is just save the tires as much as you can. Save the tires, keep your momentum up, and just keep the car in one piece.
That is some top tier insight. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to keep that in mind as I keep watching this line of tire saving occur here. I'm trying to single out cars for some passing action. There's been a little bit, but a lot of it has been very, very cautious driving, letting the car do the work. Well, we've got someone falling back now, though. Who's that in?
Is that? It's
The
not
white car?
I think that
Zoom in on the wall.
Yeah, Robert Wall.
Falls
Got
back
the
in the
wall.
66.
Yeah, he's a lap down. He was the guy that slapped the wall off of turn number 4.
Oh, okay, very good. Unfortunate place to be. Yeah, I saw that. All the cars sliding around, and I was just thinking, what is going on down there? Now, if we go back to the front, that string at the front has been fairly consistent. Let's talk for a second about Tristan Bruce. Is he going to be? Is he going to suffer the wear and tear of being by himself here, or do you think that he's got enough draft off Albright to save his tires?
Well, Tristan Bruce is a guy this season at least. I mean, I haven't been on this stage since prior to this season, but what I've noticed from that 21 car is he always saves his tires for these races. As I think we had someone with some
Amazing
issues there.
Well, you've got me very beat on the experience here on Thunderclap. I'm playing a little bit of catch up on figuring out who's really good at tire saving. So Tristan Bruce is one of the ones to watch for then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like really, to start these races, he's always the guy you'll see falling back a little bit, just saving his stuff. And at the end of stage 1, the end of stage 2, getting later on into these long runs, you'll see him up front just absolutely gapping the field, and you're sitting here like, what is this kid doing? And it's something that he was doing earlier on in the season when he was dominating. I mean, he won, I believe it was 3 in a row, Dover, North Wilkesboro, and then I believe the race after North Wilkesboro he won as well. And I mean, he went on that hot streak, which is what got him up to second in points. And I mean, all 3 of those races, you saw the exact same thing. He would fall back in stage 1, save his tires, and he was okay with not getting any stage points just because he was saving his tires. But come stage 2 and stage 3, he was just blitzing through the field, and you were sitting here like, where did this guy come from?
I love it. I love to see it. All of these drivers here at the front are all thinking pretty much the same thing that you've been mentioning. Save the tires. get on the inside. Don't drive too hard. And I honestly have seen more courteous driving. It almost looks like there's like synchronized swimmers is what comes to mind right now. There's not a lot of direct drafting going on. Tristan Bruce is maintaining probably a larger gap than I expected from Thomas Aaron behind him. And he's maintaining it. It seems like at will whenever he wants to. It makes me wonder if everybody's gotten this next day. Don't drive this car too hard. Brake a little bit sooner. Ride the line that everyone else is riding. And you're going to see it pay off. We're already 2/3 of the way through the first stage. And at the front, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 car line at the front has been consistent for almost the entire race so far. Only a few place switches have occurred.
Yeah, we're already starting to see the effects of fall off. I mean, we're expecting about between 40 and 60 lap runs, give or take, for these guys here, and we're already starting to see the effects of fall off just 20 laps in. I mean, you take a look at Jordan Jurassic, your leader right now. 30.518 was his fastest lap. He just ran a 31.354. So just in 21 laps of running, we're already seeing almost upwards of a second of fall off. So when we get into stage 3 and we get those longer runs going to where we're probably going to need some green flag pit stops, knowing how Nashville tends to play out, we're definitely going to see a big amount of fall off for these guys. Is now 23 laps into stage number 1, and it has still been Jordan Jurassic leading this race. Chase Albright's been on his tail pretty much since the drop of the green flag. But don't look now, Tristan Bruce, he's coming up. He has been lurking in the shadows and almost kind of out of sight, out of mind right now for Jurassic and Albright.
I've just got eyes on this top 3 right now, and I'm trying to think what's going through their heads. As you keep saying, Tristan Bruce is just hiding in the reeds, in the tall grass, waiting to strike. And it looks like the number 2 and the number 3. Oh, wait a minute. Did I speak too soon? Because now we got Chase Albright tucking the nose in a little bit on Jurassic. But you've got 2 and 3 with laser focus on Jordan Jurassic. They're doing exactly what he does. And it's going to be Jurassic keeping an eye on his rearview mirror and watching to see when Chase Albright, how Chase Albright makes that move to mix up this 1, 2, 3 that they've got going on, that I think might happen within the next couple of laps here.
One thing I have noticed here, and this is a product of just watching these top 3 pretty much this entire first stage, is I've noticed that Chase Albright seems to be a lot better in 1 and 2 than Jordan Jurassic is, whereas Jurassic gains his time in 3 and 4. I mean, you see right here, it looks like Jurassic's letting off a lot earlier and getting back onto the gas a lot sooner compared to Chase Albright. But you go back to Tristan Bruce, this is where it gets interesting. He's arcing the corner a lot heavier than both Jurassic and Albright. I mean, you look right here.
Yeah.
He is arcing it a lot harder here. He's not really running the yellow line, which is kind of the status quo for Nashville. You really want to be on that yellow line because that's where all the grip is. So it's a little bit interesting to see kind of this strategy here from Tristan Bruce, but it seems to be working as it looks like he's saved a lot of tires just in this 26-lap run here.
Yeah, I'm watching very, very closely as the gap accordions between him and Chase Albright, and he puts zero pressure on Albright. He's leading a full car length on him. He's telling him, hey, man, we're all going to the same place. I know how this race is going to play out. We're trying to get through stage 1 all green flag all the way. And so far, the only thing that we had was that hard wall bang early on, and I think Walt now is out of the race. He's currently in the pit. Oh, he's coming out now. As I say it.
Looks like he was just getting his damage fixed on that 66 machine. So
I was just ready to call him out. I was just ready to say that he was out, but then he's back in. Love the tenacity out of Robert Walton. So even then, now we've had one good wall bang, and we're just trying to see if we can get through this first stage all green flag. I think we're very likely going to. Oh wait,
that's gonna get close. Right as
that was a shave.
Woo.
Oh man, what a shave!
Be quiet. No more commentators curse. We're done for the night. No more commentary curse.
Okay, never. I'm not going to talk about the condition of the race. I'm not going to talk about green flags. No, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. Tell me to stop. All right, I'm done.
Be quiet.
Cargo round, left turn, good.
There you go. NASCAR.
All right.
But
Keep
off
NASCAR.
turn number 2 here, it is still Jurassic leading by about 0.4 of a second. Coming to the white flag of stage number 1 here. Albright did stick on his bumper for a pretty good portion of stage number 1, but now that he's falling off, he's fallen into the clutches of Tristan Bruce. His white flag in the air for stage number 1, side by side for 5th place in the stage, and it looks like we're getting, or excuse me, 4th place for the stage, and it looks like we're getting ready to be side by side for 2nd place in the stage. And now Noah Rainwater does complete the slide jump, but here comes Thomas Aaron with the up and under right in front of him. Tristan Bruce does look to the inside of Chase Albright. That is for 2nd place in stage number 1 here. Jurassic just watching this in his mirror. Rainwater does get clear for that 4th spot, but off of turn number 4, going to be Jordan Jurassic taking stage number 1 and starting off the playoffs the right way. Tristan Bruce 2nd, and a photo finish at the line for stage number 3. I believe Rainwater got all right at the line.
He did, I believe, also right at the line. That was the plays we were looking for. They saved it up until the very end of the stage, as we kind of expected. The big moments came at the end, and it was a battle for 3rd, a battle for 2nd, and a battle for 5th, I guess, at that point. Really exciting. I was watching Thomas Aaron's big move against Noah Rainwater, and then Rainwater at the same time making his move. It was Chase Albright who got caught up in the middle of that in a lot of the excitement. Now, Rainwater in stage 1 is the hardest charger in the top 5. He gained 6 places to get up there. So we know that that his go-getive spirit is going to be here at the end of these stages. That's when we're going to be watching Noah Rainwater make these big plays. He's going to start at the front, and he's going to make the move at the very end, and that's what we have seen so far. Let's see if we see with a similar behavior in stage 2.
Yeah, Noah Rainwater, the hard charger at stage number 1. Jurassic takes home stage number 1. With that, we're going to go and take a commercial break here. Stay right here. We'll take you through stage number 2 and describe what happened under yellow flag pit stops here at Nashville at the end of stage number 1.
Travis Pastrana here, and you are watching the Thunderclap iRacing Series. Grab a good boy and let's go racing.
I think we're ready to rock.
Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. If your lawn sprinkler controller is more than 5 years old, give us a shout today. We'll come out and take a look, give you a evaluation, get you set up for a new Wi-Fi enabled smart controller. We can monitor this from our office for you. Give us a shout. We'll come out and take a look. Let's upgrade your controller. It'll save you water. We can save you up to about, we're averaging 47 to 51% with our clients. Feedback we're hearing from us. So give us a shout today. We're glad to come out and take a peek. Talk to you soon.
You're not alone.
Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Grid Vision and welcome back to Nashville. Nick Stein and Joe LaCastro calling the race for you tonight.
Yeah, sorry about that. A little bit of technical difficulties there on my end. Hopefully, those will be resolved by Friday when I finally get my new PC back up and running. So,
Well, you
I
didn't
won't
miss
have to deal
anything.
with
We just came back from commercial.
I figured as much because it was just a nice little Discord crash that decided to screw with me tonight. So we are back 1 to green here. Jordan Durasic is your leader. Still Tristan Bruce, Noah Rainwater, Chase Albright. Your top 5 actually has not changed one bit under pit stops. But Justin Clapper gains another spot on pit road. He's up into that 6th spot. Andrew Olazuski falls back down to 7th. It's a little bit of shuffling further back in your top 10.
And we've been keeping eyes on the front of the pack. The race has stayed. I'm not going to talk about it. You know what? I said I wasn't going to talk about it. Now I'm going to break my own rule. For those who are just tuning in, all of stage 1 was green. We had one good wall bump, but that was a recovery, and we stayed green throughout that. Stage 2 is of a similar length, I believe. You said we go to 66 on stage 2. Is that right?
Yes, I believe.
All right. So
let me actually check on that real quick to make sure I'm not feeding you false information.
that's all right. I love eating false information. So we've got
I was off by a lap, 65.
65. So we've got a similarly paced out stage here. So I expect to see a similar result. Let's watch for guys tire saving and then going for it.
Yeah, we come back into the RL Productions restart zone. Green flag back into the air here at Nashville, presented by Pine Golf. Jurassic with a big time jump here, absolutely gapping the field down to the turn number 1.
He is doing the opposite of what he had been doing. I know he was one of the guys who was going a little bit close to the yellow line, but we've been seeing the guys get into a nice long string early on and maintaining it. And right now at the front, Tristan Bruce and Noah Rainwater are trying to figure out who is going to be number 2 in that string. Bruce was 3rd for stage 1. Now he's moving into position for position 2 on stage 2.
Looks like pretty much everything's single filing out here. Chase Albright a little bit further back on the outside of Brandon Sloot here. Down into turn number, that got a little bit tight between those two.
Sloot and Albright.
Albright does keep it straight somehow.
And behind them also, we've got the 8 and the 9 of Matt Montgomery and Andrew Olszewski. Also too wide. A little pack forming here in the 8th and 9th positions.
Oh, they thought about going 3 wide there. Olszewski thought about going through the middle, but thinks better of it as now Matthew Montgomery to the inside and Chase Albright there. Albright kind of falling off from his lofty heights he had earlier on in this race.
You're absolutely right. He was sitting pretty, and now I think that this 2 wide situation might be getting inside his head. On the outside, with nowhere to go down low, he's got to try to find a spot to fit. No one's going to let him in there. With the fear of sliding up into him, they're going to keep the lower line. Like you said, you watch here, they get down to the yellow line, and when they go back up, they're going to try to get around him and put him at the end of that line, which he's in right now, falling back to 11th place, down 8 positions from where he started.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to the 19 of Matt Garrett to start this race. He got caught on that outside line on a restart and went way back. And now both Matt Garrett and Chase Albright having to work their way back up through the field here. And that's the one tricky part about Nashville. If you get caught on the outside here, like it's looking like Thomas Aaron is about to be, you are apt to lose a lot of time. And we've already seen him multiple times here tonight.
Absolutely. Aaron, I've been watching closely here. He's been brake checking just a little bit. The cars behind him looking like they're frustrated, trying to get around him now. He's trying to keep that position up without cutting the nose off the number 9 of Matt Montgomery, but he keeps touching the brakes a little bit earlier in the turn than his peers here, and that's getting them to bunch up around him. Pretty soon he's going to get dumped back out to the outside, and the 19 of Matt Garrett is going to be able to get around him if he can find a spot between him and Andrew Olszewski.
Yeah, Olszewski to his inside now. That number 8 with Subway Machine. That's been the first time all season he's changed his paint, and it kind of threw me off for a second because I'm so used to his normal colors. And then I see the bright green Subway, and I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, who is that? Is that a newcomer? But it is actually Andrew Olszewski in a brand new paint for the first time, I believe, this season.
I'm still keeping up with the colors. I got to say, I like that. Tristan Bruce keeps it nice and bright with the orange.
4 wide down the front straightaway. As Gregory, oh, they get towed!
We got wrecking!
Albright sideways in the outside wall. Shepsis is around 2. Big time caution here. Caution number 2 presented by Connor's Cure. And we had a big wreck here in turn number 1. As we see, they wanted to go 3 wide. Matt Cherry thought about sending it 3 wide here. Oh, and then a little bit of net code between him and Gregory Shepsis. That just
Looks
took out
like
one of
it.
your front runners there.
He did. And I think that was the 45 of, was that also Chase Albright? Yes, it was.
Chase Albright.
49.
Gregory Shepsis.
Well, there goes my pick for the night.
Yikes. My pick's up in second, just saying.
No, you know what? You picked well. I don't think anything I don't think any of that had to do with Chase Albright there, but it does look like the thought of taking it a little wider in Matt Cherry's mind was a good one until it wasn't, and then coming back down, he just didn't quite have the clearance he maybe thought he had on the front left side, and it sent our boys into the wall. It sent my boy into the wall there. We'll see if he's able to get back out onto the field, how bad it might be for Shepsis.
Shepsis was really hurt there. He had a couple of really big hits, but I believe Albright may be fine. He may have just a little bit of damage on that 49, but he did hit the back of the car pretty hard there. So we're going to have to see if Chase Albright can get that damage fixed, but he should be able to before we get to the end of stage number 2 here.
And right now in the pits, we've got Thomas Aaron, Chase Albright, and Gregory Shepsis, all sitting and awaiting verdicts from their pit crew in terms of how long it's going to be for them to be sitting there, maybe taking whatever repairs they can get, including optional ones, maybe if it's worth it. But we'll see who makes it back out first out of those 3 that were caught up in that wreck. I didn't initially see Thomas Aaron, but he was also caught up in that wreck, I guess, there too. I remember seeing Shepsis and Albright, but I got to keep an eye out if we get we can see what happened to Thomas Aaron as well.
Thomas Aaron just came down pit road. He had some damage.
Oh,
a little
okay.
bit earlier on, so it looks like he's just getting the rest of that fixed.
And he's back out. First out. Thomas Aaron.
First in, first out.
Love it. FIFO.
The good old restaurant talk I just gave anyone who's worked into a restaurant or worked in a restaurant of any sort PTSD, so.
What if you work in programming and you're programming arrays? You also sometimes talk about things like first in, first out. Things along those lines. On the nerdier side of things.
I could see that.
And Chase Albright, speaking of out, is also back out. So whatever happened to him, he's back on the run.
I figured based on the way he got hit that he didn't have too much damage. It looks like
Sheps
that
is
car
right behind him.
Albright's definitely got a lot of rear end damage, but I mean, he should be able to get that fixed.
Let me zoom in here. Oh yeah, they're both pretty beat up. All
Shepsis
passing
definitely
up.
got the worst end, the short end of the stick there.
Yeah, he got beaten a little bit harder with the ugly stick.
Oof.
But the back of Albright's car looks like a car accident.
Yeah, and then Shepsis looks like he's seen 2 sides of a blender in that 27.
Oof, yeah. Going through a car wash where they just put razor blades on the ends of those frilly brushes.
Yeah, he is. Both those cars have seen better days, and they have this race as well, as Albright was up in second. I believe he may have led a lap as well tonight, and Shepsis was on the lower end of the top 10 a little bit earlier on in this race, but they're both damaged and at the back of the field right now, hoping to get those cars fixed before the end of this race and get back up into this thing.
Let's talk about the front of the field now. How does this change the front of the field? Who's up there now? Let's see.
I mean, it doesn't change much. I mean, you see Justin Clapper in the 63. He's up into that 3rd spot now.
That's some
Noah
fresh
Rainwater
news.
and Matthew Montgomery have both moved up just a little bit here. So,
That's right. Clapper now is up 9. Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
he's up in the 4th spot, actually, not the 3rd spot. But Clapper has definitely been the beneficiary of that wreck, as that gained him 2 spots from where he was. So, actually, no, it didn't gain him 2 spots, but he is up in 4th now, where he was 6th at the start of stage number 2.
Very good. Yeah, we've got a couple of people taking advantage of the little shakeup that just happened there. I got a feeling this is going to be Noah Rainwater's stage if we're going to see how things play out for the rest of the laps here. We're on lap 45, looking for lap 65 for the end of stage 2. And if we're looking in the top 10, one number stands out for me in the top 10, and it's 95. Kyle Bartles. He is 12 positions up in 10th place right now. So in terms of hardest charger in the race so far, that's him. And he's one of the only 2 Toyotas at the front of the race. So let's hear it from my Camry guys.
As we're coming back into the TLC restart zone. I said RL Productions restart zone earlier. That was a little bit of a mistake on my part. It is the TLC restart zone as now the green flag is back in the air here for Jordan Jurassic, presented by Pine Golf, and he gets himself another launcher here as he's got himself a couple of car links over Tristan Bruce. Justin Clapper does hop down in front of the 05, but Noah Rainwater. Brandon Slew to the outside of Matthew Montgomery in the 9 machine. Our race for the lead starting to tighten up just a little bit now as we're blocking already on lap 47. Bruce does get to the inside for the lead, side by side between your 2 championship favorites here at Nashville Superspeedway.
What a push from Bruce. There it goes. A further push, no contact that I could see, maybe a little bit, and down goes Jurassic. He's falling back now several places as he looks for a place to get back into the string of cars. I don't think he expected to have that much of a rivalry on this restart, and maybe that little bit of relaxation that he had, thinking, hey, I'm at the front, that cost him the sort of sharp-edged mind that he needed to prevent this from happening.
Jordan Jurassic does get down back onto the bottom line to prevent himself from losing too much time, but championship favorites already getting into a little bit. I'm going to pull a little bit of European out here. They're getting into a little bit of argy-bargy already here in the playoffs. We're still only 50 laps into the start of the playoffs here.
And it's now straightening out again. However, back a little ways, we've got Jurassic, Matt Garrett sitting there. Bartles has moved up even further. And at the front, Tristan Bruce is pulled away a bit from the pack, simulating the first stage here, where he sat behind in 3rd place, while Jurassic took the stage. Now it's Bruce, Rainwater, and Clapper in number 1, 2, and 3 places, with Jurassic falling back all the way to 5th.
And what did I say earlier? Tristan Bruce was going to sit back in stage 1, and he was going to start to show his hand as we get into stage 2.
What a viper. What a snake. Unbelievable.
I tell you.
Yeah, you saw the future. You saw the future. Now, do you think stage 2 is too soon to play his hand? Are we going to see that tire-saving strategy? Is it what in stage 3, or is he going to just hope for the stage points and then fall back into a different lull again? Oh, as we watch the number 6 car of Jordan Jurassic trying on the inside, can't quite get the pass.
Yeah, I mean, in his 3 wins to this point, Tristan Bruce did the exact same strategy. He saved at stage 1, finished on somewhere in the top 5 for stage points in stage number 1. Then he really started to pick up the pace in stage 2. And then when he got into stage 3, that's where he just went into cruise control and just saved tires, saved fuel, and kind of pulled away from everyone else who was stuck racing because they thought it was stage 3 and time to go. So that seems to be the MO of Tristan Bruce when it comes to these races, that he seems to be up front in. But Jordan Jurassic's trying to work his way back up through the field here, as now he's to the inside of the 63 of Justin Clapper. That is that is not Justin Clapper. That is actually, where is Jurassic?
The 63 is Clapper, yes.
Oh, that was Clapper. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong place. I thought that was Matthew Montgomery for a second.
You are good, my friend. My friend Montgomery is in the 9. It looks like the similar color scheme to the 6, and they're flipped, and so that's how I've been trying to remember is that the 6 and the 9 are in line right now, which is a lot of fun to cover when you're watching cars go around in a circle. But with the number 5 place going to Kyle Bartles, Clapper has fallen back now to 6th. I'm looking for Jurassic to keep trying to claw back those positions. And as you can see, he's on the outside right now. Not the best place for him to be if he's trying to claw back a position, but he's got time. He's got a little bit of time left. He's got about 12 laps left until the end of this stage to make his play back up to the front.
Yeah, and here's a couple of other guys that we've seen really racing each other to an absolute limit. Jordan Jurassic and Kyle Bartles. We've seen our fair share of battles between these two all season. I mean, who could forget that Talladega race where they were coming to the line side by side, and then Bartles lost it by I believe about 1/100 of a second or something close to that. So these two have had their fair share of side-by-side with each other. So whenever these two are battling on track, we are set for some popcorn and some fireworks here, as these two have they've raced each other to the limits more times than I can count this season. Kyle Bartels comes out on top that time by.
Now I'm looking at the standings right now, the season standings, and Kyle Bartels has participated in 9 races during the season, but he's been in the top 5 4 times. So almost half of those races he's been close to, if not winning. He's won one of them. So you're right. There's next to someone like Jurassic, he's looking pretty good.
Did Bartels win one?
Yeah, that's what it says here. It says Kyle Bartels wins 1.
I can go look and figure out what race that was, because
Let me see if I can dig that up for you.
I have not seen a Kyle Bartels win.
Let me try to see if I can figure that out while we keep looking at all these 2 wides coming up here now as everybody gets hot for the end of stage 2.
Oh, it was Iowa. Duh. Yeah, brain fart. Yep, he won last couple of weeks ago in Iowa. His home race, actually, but we didn't get to see that win as, unfortunately, some technical difficulties. But he did win a couple of weeks ago. Actually did the same thing he's trying to do in this race. He gained 21 spots, started 22nd, ended up winning the race. So he started 22nd tonight. Maybe that's a lucky omen for the 95 of Bartels.
Seems to be. It's like an angry bee just charging his way to the front of the line. I love it. I always like to root for the underdog.
While we were talking about which race Kyle Bartels won, we actually had a pass for the lead. Noah Rainwater got around Tristan Bruce, and now Kyle Bartels has gotten past Tristan Bruce as well. So Bruce is either saving tires or he may have burned off his tires a little bit too quickly here.
You saw him off the line. It was probably the most aggressive we'd seen him drive all race. Was it the restart for this, during the stage 2 restart here after that wreck? He drove super hard to get to where he was, pulled ahead, and then ran into that wall of air that makes every man's tires say, hey, wait a minute, you need to respect me a little bit better. And now he's falling back into the position that we expect him to be in. Like you say, the snake in the grass, but he's recoiling, which is very interesting. I'm not really sure exactly how to read it either. Let's see when we get closer to the end of the stage if he tries to drive a little harder, because right now if he's going as hard as he can, he's not keeping up with the 2 in the front. Speaking of the 2 in the front, it looks like Bartels might be making his move.
Oh, almost a little bit of contact between the two there. Noah Rainwater squeezing Kyle Bartels for everything it's worth there, as Noah Rainwater does tap the wall off of turn number 4 there. Bartels just waiting, trying to force Rainwater into a mistake. There's another move to the inside there as Rainwater left the gap right behind him. Jurassic gets past Tristan Bruce for that 3rd spot. But this battle for the lead and battle for the stage 2 win starting to heat up, as well as now it looks like we may have a 3-car battle for the stage win.
And Jurassic, as predicted, moving his way back up, citing his crown yet again, wants to get back into that position. He's in a good position for points. Oh, into the inside. A good position for points at the end of stage 2, but going into stage 3, he's going to be in an even better position, knowing how he handles his restarts. He's going to be pushing for the front, and he's going to try to keep it. Not like now, where he had to fight his way back, as he works his way towards the number 1 and number 2 of Noah Rainwater and Kyle Bartels.
Bartels has been inching closer and closer to Rainwater. He almost gave Rainwater the bumper through 1 and 2 there that last time by. Oh, Bartels does slap the wall off of turn number 4. Doesn't look like he's going to have any damage on that 95, but it definitely looks like Bartels has Rainwater's number in 1 and 2. But Rainwater definitely gaining on him in 3 and 4, as it looks like Matthew Montgomery gets past Tristan Bruce as well.
Okay, here we go down the back stretch now. Let's see if that prediction comes into motion here. The 3 and 4 now. Noah Rainwater and Bartels. Bartels up 20 positions. He has been trying to get in Rainwater's head. You've seen him go for the inside. Rainwater now diving the inside line, testing the limits of Kyle Bartels and seeing if he can get him off of that, get him out of his air. But Kyle Cardles, I almost said, Kyle Bartels is not letting it happen. He is on him like white on rice right now, and he will not let go.
Oh, to the inside, down to the turn 3. Bartels to the inside of Rainwater for the lead.
Contact!
Staying on this battle. They do make contact in the middle of the corner. Bartels does stay to his inside for a good portion there, but now Rainwater does inch back ahead. Is now 2 to go in stage number 2.
I thought that was going to be a slide or a losing situation for Bartles there. I thought that for sure that contact was a little bit harder, but it was just enough, barely registered from what I could tell. Maybe even was more in my it looked like it was so gentle it was in my head, but I'm certain that they touched there, and it was a good recovery from Bartles as we're coming around with less than 2 laps to go in stage 2.
Yeah, coming off of turn number four, excuse me. White flag is in the air for stage number 2. Rainwater is your leader. Will it be the same leader here in 1 1/3 as Kyle Bartles still working his way closer and closer to the 05 of Noah Rainwater? He has a little bit of a run off the corner here. Does not look like he has the move. He's going to show the nose anyway. Maybe attempt the dive bomb, but no, Rainwater blocks the move off. Bartles has a decent run through 3 and 4, though. Off of turn number 4 does not mean a thing. Is now coming off of turn number 4. Noah Rainwater takes stage number 2.
With the big block there at the end that, no, sir, this is my stage. You cannot have it. I fought my way here through a whole 30 laps, and I'm not going to give it up that easily. I would say that it was a smooth and respectful block, but a block nonetheless, as Rainwater really wants to hold on to that stage win and has done so. But you can't deny that I think that stage maybe had belonged to Kyle Bartles, with how many places he gained and managed to maintain and fight for and strive for during the entire course of that one caution stage. Kyle Bartles is probably the VIP of that stage for me personally.
Yeah, for sure. But 84 laps to go here in Nashville. We're going to go and take another commercial break. Stay right here. We'll run you through stage 2 pit stops and take you through stage number 3 here at Nashville Superspeedway. Noah Rainwater takes stage number 2 over Kyle Bartles.
Travis Pastrana here, and you are watching the Thunderclap iRacing Series. Grab a good boy and let's go racing.
I think we're ready to ride.
In a distant kingdom, in a magical realm, there lived people who faced dreadful drainage problems on their lawns. For many years, they suffered from puddles and mud in their yards. Until one day, the saviors from TLC Company appeared with their magical shovels and lifted the wet curse from the kingdom's residents. Forget about puddles and mud. With us, your yard will become a genuine fairy tale nook. Call us right now, and let's transform your drainage concerns into a magical adventure. TLC, where every home becomes a fairy tale.
Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. You got a outdoor lighting, landscape lighting system. Maybe we installed it. Maybe it was there you inherited in your house and you want to upgrade it. Now's the time to give us a shout. We'll come out and take a look, evaluate what you do have, tell you what you could have. Give us a shout today for all your outdoor lighting needs. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, Bob Carr with TLC. Spring's upon us. If you got a wet yard, it's not going to get any better. Now it's time to give us a call. Let us come out and take a look at your drainage problem in your property. We can get you a solution. The dogs, the kids be tracking in mud. Mom will be mad. So give us a call. Give us a shout today. We'll talk to you soon.
TLC is the best in lawn sprinklers, outdoor lighting, holiday lighting, yard drainage, and more. Let us take care of your project. Get your free, no obligation estimate from TLC today.
Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Hope you guys are enjoying this race. Let's take it down to the booth and get updated on what's going on.
Back live here at Nashville Superspeedway. 69 laps out of 150. The best lap in racing, just happens to be under caution, so we can extend it. But it is actually Todd Lee, your leader right now. I believe he may have stayed out under this last cycle of pit stops, but Kyle Bartles does jump Noah Rainwater on pit road, so this restart may get a little bit interesting here.
Yeah, it looks like the pit lap that I have for Todd Lee was 67. So I'm not sure.
Oh, did he take 2 tires? Why do I get a feeling he took 2 tires?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but he's at the very front of the pack here. He's probably the fastest one out, is my guess.
Oh, here, hold on. Let me check on that real quick.
His pit time was 8 seconds and 8.23 seconds. So yeah,
Yeah,
he only took 2
definitely
tires.
Interesting
Clever,
call
clever.
here.
Look at that.
I don't know if I agree with that, though.
Now, is that going to cost him later in the race? Obviously, he's going to be. Can he even consider pitting another time here? It's only a 3-stage race, right?
I don't know about that call because I mean, he's. I don't know. It's a little bit interesting call. I gotta say it's way too.
What would get
early,
you
I
to
feel
do
like.
that? What would get you to take two tires, knowing everyone else is literally every other racer is pitting and taking 4?
I don't understand that. I won't lie.
Okay, it's fair. I want to get inside. I'm trying to get inside Todd Lee's head, and I wish we could right now because we've got questions, he's got answers, and the answer, or I think the ultimate answer though is going to be on the track. We're going to see how he does this restart, and my guess is we'll see real quick on this restart if having 2 tires versus 4 is going to pay off or not.
As we're coming up off of turn number 4, going to be Todd Lee leading these guys back into the TLC restart zone. Green flag back out of the air here, presented by Pine Golf at Nashville Superspeedway, as Todd Lee actually gets a surprisingly good restart here with just under 70 laps to go here. Or no, 80 laps to go. Geez, I cannot count apparently here at Nashville. As now Todd Lee, and they're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway here. I'm all over the place.
3 wide down the back straightaway. The 621, the 6 of Jordan Jurassic, the 21 Tristan Bruce, and Matt Montgomery in the 9, all looking for places. Montgomery moving up now into 4th and trying to get a part of that lead pack. Todd Lee, our ringer from the restart zone there, now falling back a little bit, unable to maintain that fast lead he had. He's losing places now to Noah Rainwater. He's falling back to 2nd, Rainwater in the 5, taking 1st.
Yes, now Noah Rainwater to the outside of Todd Lee for the lead. Kyle Bartles looking to the outside now as well, as Brandon Slew slaps the wall off of turn number 4 there. That's going to allow Tristan Bruce back to his outside. Todd Lee now defending from the 95, but Kyle Bartles is now down into turn number 1 and 2. Kyle Bartles to the outside of Todd Lee. Brandon Slew's going to take it 3 wide to the inside here. 3 wide down the back straightaway at Nashville Superspeedway. Slew on the inside, Lee in the middle. Tristan Bruce in the 21 to the outside, and he looks like Tristan Bruce is going to be the big winner here.
Jurassic moving up past Lee as well, once again eyeing his old spot. Lee falling back even further as his choice to take 2 tires may be costing him a little earlier than he thought it would here at the beginning of stage 3. The cars look like they're all straightened out.
Thomas Aaron and, oh man, Andrew Olazuski with a, looks like he may have gotten loose. Austin Cooper in the 12, I believe that was, having to go a little bit of lawn mowing down the back straightaway, but we are side by side for the lead here at Nashville. Racing in action, picking up big time here as we start stage number 3. Kyle Bartles to the inside of Noah Rainwater. Now Tristan Bruce looking to get in on this action, as well as Bartles has the preferred line through the corner, but it looks like Noah Rainwater has the run off of turn number 2 down into turn number 3 here. Bartles still to the inside. Rainwater doing everything he can on that outside line, but it's going to be Bartles, your new race leader.
If Rainwater can't keep that momentum and keep that heat all the way through the corner, he's not going to be able to get the lead. And with a shoot off of the nose, Bartles once again pushes himself further into first place. I think that Rainwater is going to have to do some drafting here. He's going to have to get close and then use his nose to make a lead here. It's not going to be speed on the outside that takes a lead at Nashville. When you're on concrete, when your tires are starting to wake up, it's going to be your nose. It's going to be you pushing around a little bit and finding a spot where you can put your car between the enemy and the inside of the track.
Yeah, that is always the case here at Nashville. It's now Jordan Jurassic to the inside and Tristan Bruce. Bruce, though, does have that run on the outside for the moment. And it looks like they're going to be side by side once again. Your two championship favorites at the moment, side by side for the third time tonight. But through 3 and 4, it looks like Brandon Slew's going to get to the inside for just a moment, but Bruce gets the momentum off the corner, but he does tap the wall off of turn number 4, which keeps Brandon Slew to the inside. Matthew Montgomery wanting to get on this as well.
Slew on the inside there with Montgomery. 21 of Tristan Bruce on the outside, still pushing on the outside line. I think he's going to be burning too much tire to try to maintain the position that it looks like he's going for. He's trying to get the nose of his car around Matt Montgomery so he can slide into the line of cars and start saving some tire, but he just doesn't have it. Even on the outside on these straights where it looks like he might be able to get the draft off of Noah Rainwater, he doesn't have the top line speed. He needs to get away from Matt Montgomery.
Yeah, and this is what we've seen so many times tonight. Matt Garrett was one of them. Chase Albright was another one. If you get caught on the outside, you're apt to lose minimum 3 or 4 spots, especially on these restarts here. So Tristan Bruce is in a really precarious spot right now, where if he doesn't get to the bottom as soon as possible, not only is he going to be burning his tires off, he's going to lose a lot of track position, which is oh so important when it comes to how you're going to play out the strategy here. Because if this does go green, these guys are going to have to make one green flag pit stop here tonight.
Absolutely. And our series favorite, Jordan Durasic, is now firmly back in second place with several car lengths between him and Kyle Bartels. Bartels way ahead now on his own with the preferred line all to himself. With no drafting options for Bartels, his tires are going to be getting chewed up. If he expects to take that green flag pit stop, it's going to be on his pace, or whoever's in the lead is going to set the pace for that green flag pit stop. Bartels can decide when that happens, especially when he's got this much of a lead, and when anybody behind him has got to drive twice as hard to catch up to him. It's going to be a matter of these cars in the lead, pushing and pushing and pushing until the last moment and saying, okay, this pit stop is going to be the one where I can have tires that will take me across the finish line no matter who gets close to me. And I won't lose that speed on the outside if I get pushed to the outside.
Yeah, and these guys are expected to be about between 60 and 65 laps on a fuel run here. So from lap 65, that should put their final pit stop anywhere between lap 125 and 130 here. So that'll be a pretty late green flag pit stop compared to what we've seen here, as we do see Tristan Bruce did finally get back to that inside line, but now Brandon Slew seems to be stuck on the outside on top of Matthew Montgomery in the 9, but Bruce is all over the rear end of the 05 and Noah Rainwater.
Noah Rainwater trying hard to stay in that third place position. We out to the outside. After some contact, Montgomery is on the inside now. He's cutting grass as we stay green.
Groundskeepers hate him.
Gophers want to be him.
Fair enough.
Let's see what happened. Beep.
Looks like a little bit of contact between Brandon Slew and Matthew Montgomery.
Just enough. Just enough. And with that full speed, full throttle, wide open stance that they had when they made that gentle contact, it was just enough to get the tires out of line and to get him on ice.
As we see, the lead is starting to shrink a little bit between Bartels and Durasic. It's not by anything crazy, but these two are starting to close up just a little bit, as Durasic was actually just a little bit slower than Bartels that last time by. These two seem to be matching lap times pretty consistently.
Just about. Only their two best lap times are barely 0.03 of a second off. Their last lap times are only 0.04 of a second off. So they're racing the same race right now. They're tasting the same air, having the same level of resistance. The cars are in the same condition. Like I said, this is the race to the pit stop. And these two get to decide as a pair, even though they're not even driving anywhere near each other, they get to decide as a pair when this race is going to have its next, quote fingers, caution. And that's going to be that green flag pit stop that could be coming up in the next 25 or 35, 35 laps here. as we go into lap 86 in stage 3 tonight at Nashville.
It's all going to depend on how everyone wants to play this. It's all going to be determined on, you know, who bites the bullet first, who's going to take that time loss, who is going to be the catalyst to start this green flag pit stop cycle, because there's a lot of different ways you can play it from here. So you're about 22 laps into your run by this point, because, you know, everyone would have pitted lap 65 at the end of stage number 2. So you're about a quarter of the way through your fuel run right now. So if you really wanted to, you could split it in half here. Go at lap 100. Just cut it on the teeth at 100. That way you have a 45-lap run to that point and then a 50-lap run to the end. Or you could play it a little longer, you know, go 110, 120, and get that shorter stint to end the race so you have fresher tires than everyone. But there's just so many ins and outs and odd strategies you can do. But at the earliest that we would see these guys pit would be here in a couple of laps, actually, here at lap 90, because that would be the absolute maximum that you could do on fuel here, because it is between 60 and 65 is what we're expecting. So right about here would be where we see the earliest pit stops, if any. But again, I'm not expecting anyone to pit until, I would say, probably minimum lap 105, 110, somewhere around there, just to get a shorter stint to end off this race. As, man, look at this battling here between Brandon Slew and Robert Colgan.
I have been watching that. Yeah, Colgan has been looking for it. Slew has been, it's been interesting because Slew has gone from the inside to the outside and has lost positions in both places. And now he's back on the outside again, losing positions on the outside. I'm wondering if, I don't think his car has taken any damage from any crashing. He had that small bump earlier, but it wasn't him who got sent off to the inside. That was Matt Montgomery. So, oh, wow!
Oh, huge wreck.
Yellow flag is out with a huge wreck. Colgan and Montgomery. Everyone. Oh, my goodness. Lappers involved.
What the heck just happened?
We're going to have to go back and pull this one apart like an artichoke.
As we see, Robert Colgan was modified mode there on pit road.
Absolutely. The 94.
Is this 4? Oh, man.
Oh, Colgan got folded up.
See, Thomas Aaron got involved there at the end. Okay, hold on. We got to slow that down. What the heck just happened here?
Looks like Brendan Slew on the inside there.
Ooh, Colgan
Slew was on the outside. He folded him up.
Yeah.
Yep, Colgan came up. Got turned on the nose, and when he went sideways, everyone crashed into him.
Matt Holmes there at the end. Nowhere to go. Tried to avoid the sliding Justin Clapper. And you see right there, under the grass, but you see modified mode for the 94 of Colgan. I mean, if we could get slow-mo here, just to kind of break this down a little bit. As you see down in 3 and 4 here, looks like Colgan maybe came up about a half lane.
Yep, there it is.
There's the initial contact right there.
He's pushing him. He's pushing him,
Ooh,
but then
I wonder if there's a little bit of net code involved with that.
Might be a touch because it doesn't look like he tried to correct it.
And you see right there, Clapper had nowhere to go. Thomas Aaron was a bystander in that. A couple of really hard hits off of turn number 4.
Really unfortunate meat grinder there. The perfect T-bone, the perfect spin. There it goes. Wow.
Did he blow a right front? He may, no. I don't think Colgan would have blown a right front there, because the way, I believe that may have been after they had made their initial contact, but it looked like he kind of went straight after they made that first bit of contact.
Yeah, it did look like after the first contact, the two cars were still relatively under control. And I wouldn't have expected Colgan's car to spin up the track as it did. I kind of maybe would have expected him to counter left, but if he didn't know that was happening, couldn't feel it, and he was just riding the natural momentum of his car, any left movement, any left input would have gotten him spun. And I think that you're probably right that netcode came into play there a little bit, as we see the middle of the race now has been stirred very thoroughly.
And I thought this caution would kind of mess with the strategy a little bit, but it looks like everyone, at least for the moment, is sticking to that okay, let's go ahead and push this as long as we can, because at the moment they're coming up on 30 laps into this tire run here. So, man, strategy is really starting to come into play here, because we're coming up on what would be the longest run of the race at the moment, because that longest run would have been 35 laps, which would have been stage 2. So it's going to get interesting with the strategy, because we're still not entirely sure what everyone's going to be doing at the moment.
Absolutely. And of the few people that we had that were toward the front that might have gotten caught up in that, it looks like in the front now, we still have 6 cars that pit last on lap 67. So everybody who's still in the front, they're still out. And then pitting on the lap 91 there, we had the majority of the middle of the field. So you're right. Half the field is sticking to the original plan, and half of them are saying, "Nah, we wanna move up now. We're gonna move up right now, and this is our time." Including Jordan Durasic. He pit on 91. So of the guys in the front who wanted to keep their positions, Durasic wasn't one of them. He pit and said, "I want those fresh tires." He pit and said, "I'm coming for you, Kyle Bartels. I'm gonna go straight to the top."
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting, because at the moment, Jordan Durasic would be able to make it to the end on fuel, because this will be about a 55, 56 lap run for Jordan Durasic. So he's really going to have to save the tires on that number 6 machine, but he technically could make it from here. So now the ball is in everyone else's court. I guarantee you, now that everyone has seen that and seen what Jordan Durasic is doing, if we get another quick caution here, pit road's going to be an absolute madhouse.
Yeah, everyone that is in the lead currently will pit, especially because I think the only reason that they didn't was they didn't look backwards to see who was pitting. If they had known that Durasic had taken that pit, you probably would have seen Bartels, Rainwater, I'm guessing, and Bruce would have all taken pits back then.
Yeah, as now it's going to be Kyle Bartels once again. Green flag, not got in the air here, presented by Pine Golf, as he gets himself a big-time jump here once again. Down into turn number 1. Rainwater, almost went in the middle 3 wide, as Tristan Bruce now to the inside of the 0-5, but nowhere Rainwater. Matt Garrett for the first time tonight back up into the top 5 after losing a ton of time at stage number 1. He's officially worked himself back up as Bruce takes the gap there at the entry of turn number 3, and that was very close.
What a snap closure there. He just said, "Nah, this is my spot, and I'm going to make sure I keep it absolutely tight." Very, very well handled. Bartels in front, Rainwater.
To eke his lead out just a little bit here. Rainwater still in front of the 21 of Bruce. It looks like we're about to have a repeat of what we had at the end of stage number 2 between these two.
Now let's watch for Jordan Durasic. Currently in 6th position. He's down 5, but he never seems to sit there. We talk about Tristan Bruce being a bit of a snake, being the guy who sits in the back and watches his tires. Every time I've seen Jordan Durasic fall back a little bit, I blink and then he's gained a position. I blink and then he's gained a position. So eyes on him also, even though he's sitting back in 6th place right now for the restart, feeling back out the car, waking up the fresh tires he's on. He's going to be able to make moves a little bit more than perhaps some of the other cars around him. Already a place ahead of Brendan Schumann, who did not pit on lap 91.
Yeah, and Jordan Durasic, he should be able to, as Matt Cherry slaps the wall off of turn number 4, but he should be able to make some moves pretty quickly here, because he is on 30 lap pressure tires. And at a track like Nashville with this length, it only being a mile and a third, you would think 30 laps is a concrete track. We were talking about earlier in our keys to the race. It's a concrete track. Tires wear incredibly fast at a track like Nashville. So tire saving is not only of most importance for Jordan Durasic right now, but gaining a little bit of track position, because he is on 30 lap pressure tires compared to everyone else. So he should be able to make a lot of these moves pretty easily in that 6th machine, but it's just a matter of, is he willing to make the moves this early and risk wearing out his tires a lot quicker than he should?
Well, Cherry gave him the opportunity just about a lap and a half ago when he made the move and moved ahead of him now for 5th position. Now he's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Matt Garrett. Matt Garrett down 2 positions from 2nd, where he started the race. And up in 1st position, Bartels 21 positions up from 22nd place where he started this race. Didn't wonder if he knew he was going to be here. As we talked about, he loves to start in the back of the pack and work his way back up. Very, very good when it comes to that kind of racing.
As you see right there on screen, Burleson and Aaron having a little bit of a hip check battle here in turn 1. Now they're in turn 3. Aaron still to the outside. Burleson gets a little bit tight. But these guys seemingly just trying to recover, basically. Because, Aaron was just involved in that big wreck. Burleson, I believe they have been slightly involved as well. So I think these guys are just trying to recover and just try to get whatever points they can here tonight.
Yeah, I was about to say, if Thomas Aaron isn't careful, he's going to get caught up again here. But he's probably still a little bit rattled, but still twice as determined now to come back from this, able to still keep racing. He's going to want to play it cool, but as it stands, taking advantage of wrecks can be a way to get places. And we've seen that even the best racers on this track are going to get involved in wrecks. Most of the wrecks have been relatively toward the middle of the pack. When you're in the lead here tonight in this league, it looks like you managed to keep it until somebody can really get up close to you. But when the wrecks happen, that's when the guys in the middle, the guys like Thomas Aaron, who were caught up, and Matt Montgomery, when they were in those unfortunate situations, they're going to want to look for positions back to get where they were. And well, wreck's a great way to get it, and it's going to happen at Nashville.
Yeah, for sure. Nashville, it may not be that much of a big track, but the speeds are just high enough to where if a wreck's going to happen, it's going to involve a lot of people if you're in a little pack. And we've already seen it multiple times here tonight. I mean, you saw Shepsis and Albright get into a pretty major one earlier on in this race, and then you just saw the one about 10 laps ago between Brandon Sloot, Robert Colgan, Justin Clapper, and all those guys. So, I mean, wrecks can happen anywhere, and they can be violent too.
They really can. I see the 12 of Austin Cooper now. A couple cars going too wide here in the middle again. That's the 45 of Matt Sherry, who had hit the wall a little bit earlier, still falling back a couple of places. Hard charging in, coming in number 9, Matt Montgomery on the outside. On the inside, the number 12, Austin Cooper, having moved up a couple of places, looking to keep them up. Matt Cherry.
Matt Cherry is down pit road. I thought he was sliding through the grass for just a second.
I thought he was too. I thought he was I didn't know if this was intentional or not. I thought he was ready to drive the rest of the race.
It looks like this is an intentional stop here because this will give him a shorter stint to the end here. This is about where we expected pit stops to really start taking shape here, as it looks like Matt Cherry is going to be taking 4 tires here. None of your top
Justin
3
Clapper
fighting just yet.
The other one in the pit lane.
Yeah, I see. Brandon Sloot and Robert Colton out of this race. They all were involved in that wreck. So.
Oh, Clapper is out for good. Yes, he is. Okay, Cherry is now out of the pit lane and getting back onto the road here. He's only 1 lap down. He should be able to make up some places here, being very close to the end of the pack and still on the lead. No, he's still one solid lap down, Matt Cherry. So it's going to be a bit of a fight back for him unless we get another yellow or something to stir things up a little bit here. Or some more pitting.
Oh, man. This Brandon Schumann was in the wall there. There's our caution.
Whoop, there they go. Big slides. The caution I was just calling for is here. And let's see if Matt Cherry can turn this back into a commentator's curse. Well, this is a blessing for Matt Cherry, but it's a curse for everybody else.
No, because he's going to be at the end of the longest line because he'll have to take the wave around here.
Oh, you're right. That's a good point.
He'll get the lucky dog.
That's what I was thinking because he's a lap down. I thought maybe he'd be able to get back in.
Yeah, because he'll get the lucky dog here. But what the heck happened here between Brandon Schumann, Matthew Montgomery, and Austin Cooper in the 12 Lego machine there? Oh, man. Oh, oof. Schumann hits the wall. Okay, so that's what starts it, is Schumann hits the wall here. Oh, Cooper tried to shoot the gap, it looks like.
Yep, there were a couple things that went down.
Yeah, looks like Schumann.
I'm not even going to give it the wall. I don't think it was the wall that caused that. I think that he recovered very well from that wall hit.
That's what initiated this entire sequence here. Schumann hits the wall. It looks like Austin Cooper tried to shoot the gap 3 wide. It just barely caught Matthew Montgomery, and then Schumann was kind of a bystander in that.
Yeah.
Late rear ends. I believe that may have been Matthew Montgomery. While we are under this caution here, we're going to go ahead and take another commercial break. Stay right here, though. We'll take you to the end of this race. 41 laps to go here at Nashville.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we welcome you back to Nashville Superspeedway here. Look who's up front. Jordan Durasic. He has made his way back up into the lead. Todd Lee to his inside in that second spot. Kyle Bartles and Go all pit under this last caution, but it is going to be in control of Jordan Durasic as they enter the TLC restart zone here. Green flag back out of the air, and Jordan Durasic jumps out to a massive lead here as everyone wanted to try to get to the inside of Todd Lee. Todd Lee now going to be blocking Kyle Bartles down into turn one.
Lee again back at the top of the grid here after a restart. He's pitted with everybody else too. He's on his last set of tires. I'm pretty sure you only get 3. And I'm interested to see how much blocking he's going to have to do to keep Kyle Bartles and Noah Rainwater away from the second place position. That was a huge lead for Durasic off the jump, but now it looks a lot tighter on the inside here as these cars are sliding around.
They thought about 3 wide there.
Unbelievably tight in the top of this race.
They thought about 3 wide. Noah Rainwater tried to take it to the outside of Todd Lee and go 3 wide there as Matt Garrett got a little bit loose off of turn number 2. Now side by side for the lead, Jordan Durasic and Kyle Bartles. Your 2 battling for the lead right now. Looks like Kyle Bartles is going to get clear. He does technically have the fresher tires compared to Jordan Durasic. Noah Rainwater does get to the inside and clear the 6 of Durasic, and now Todd Lee is looking to the inside of Jordan Durasic. So Jordan Durasic in the span of a lap loses 2 positions, looking to be a 3rd one here for the 6 of Durasic.
I don't know. That 6 machine, as you said, is something of a beast. And even when he tends to lose positions, he tends to gain them back. It seems like he's not exactly sure where the machine is going to fit into the string of cars, though. And he wasn't driving aggressively enough to block quite the same way that some of the other cars were. Oh, off the wall, Matt Garrett. Loose earlier, it looks like he just kissed the wall behind the number 6 car. And that 6 of Durasic is staying tight to Todd Lee. Hopefully he'll be able to keep these positions and maintain his line and work his way back up to the front.
Well, he's got a ton of angry cars behind him who are all on fresh tires compared to him. Durasic, I mean, technically he's only got, what is that, about 15 lap old tires at this point, but still that is a big time difference as you see another car in the wall there off of turn number 4. We'll get the laps run graphic here. Actually, where is he?
Durasic actually pit on lap 108 with the rest of the lead here. Yeah, a bunch of these guys stayed out. Almost everybody actually in the race did their pit during that last pit stop. During that last caution, the whole top of the field up to the 14th place has fresh tires.
Okay, well now I feel dumb.
Don't feel dumb, friend. It's just the
my
numbers.
one blonde moment of the day.
It's all right. I'll help you rack up a few more before the end of the race.
Hey, the way you going, you've got 3 or 4. I'm kidding.
This is golf. You've got the lowest score. You're the winner.
Hey, too bad I'd be a plus 75 handicap or something.
Let's not get too much into the analogy. It only works for in your benefit if I don't get any more blonde moments too.
Yeah, fair enough.
In the first place now.
Getting lapped by the majority of the field. Clapper was involved in that huge wreck earlier on. It looks like he's just going to get out of the way here and just let these guys race on. As now Tristan Bruce looking to the inside and gets past the 46 of Todd Lee. Matt Holmes and Anthony Burleson side by side as well. And where is Durasic? He is falling back like it is nobody's business. I know he's saving tires, but it is still a little bit surprising to see him fall back that quickly.
Yeah, back to 10th position when we've got 30 laps left in the race. He's 10 positions back. He's on the same level of tire as everybody else. This is, I don't know what the strategy is here. Is it a bit of the Seabiscuit, a little bit of the let him see the other cars ahead of him, and that makes him faster later? That's kind of what I think whenever I see this kind of thing happening. When you see someone who's been so dominating fall back, you got to think to yourself, this is intentional. This is the formula. But then again, we've also seen him lead almost entire stages and just take the win. So, Nick, have you seen Seabiscuit?
Well, Darby is going to win some money.
Yes. Well, the short version of it is the horse has to see another horse winning in order to get the momentum to win itself. So I think that Durasic is falling back now to 12th position just to give himself enough psych to get back up into the top 3, top 5 here by the end of this race.
Still
it's right.
Watching things go on here. 29 laps to go. Kyle Bartles still your leader. He's got about a 1.3 second lead over Noah Rainwater. That's been steadily growing. Rainwater starting to fall back into the clutches of Matt Garrett, Tristan Bruce, Todd Lee, your top 5, Matt Holmes, Anthony Burleson, Joshua Corner, Thomas Aaron, and Brandon Schumann in your top 10. Austin Cooper, Jordan Durasic, Gregory Shepsis, and Matt Cherry round out your running order at the moment. Olazuski, Montgomery, Albright, Clapper is still on track, but pretty much everyone below Clapper is out of the race, and a couple of people above Clapper are also out of this race.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Cherry is one of the few running who is still a couple of laps down, but still in the race, as it were. Maybe not racing for places at this point, but he's still turning laps and going to provide some interesting potential traffic opportunities for our leaders once they get around to him.
Yeah, he is quite off pace, but the first time he did get through, it looks like he was just letting everyone by, not really wanting to, you know, get in the way of other people, just trying to log some laps and get himself some more experience in the Xfinity car. Because, I mean, we've said it a couple of times tonight, this Xfinity car is easily one of the hardest cars to drive on the surface of iRacing, but it is definitely one of the most rewarding if you're able to hit the laps, lap after lap, like, say, Kyle Bartles, say, Jordan Jurassic, say, Tristan Bruce have tonight. So, this car is one that you really need to put the time into learning to be fast in. And I think that's what Justin Clapper's trying to do right now. He's just trying to log laps and figure out how this car is supposed to drive.
I think that's a good idea. This is, as you pointed out, it's a car that is difficult but rewarding, and I think that's why when you talk to a lot of racers, you can hear it in their voice when they talk about the Xfinity car. Man, what a fun car to drive. It's a lot of fun because it feels like a race car. It drives like a car that wants to be driven. And that sounds silly, maybe, but it's a machine to be respected. And when a good driver gets behind a machine that deserves respect and demands that level of respect, they come away with a smile on their face and they talk fondly of these races they've been in the Xfinity cars. So there is a level to be found here that can't be found very easily on the service. And we're seeing it a little bit tonight in the sliding. We're seeing it tonight in some of these dominating runs. And we're seeing it tonight in the fact that we've got guys laps down who are still turning laps. Why? Because the car is fun to drive and it's good experience.
You know what? I'm going to sound a little bit off the wall saying this, but when we go to road courses, the Xfinity car is my all-time favorite car on road courses. Like, it is just so much fun on the road courses. You need to save tires, but you can also push the car. It's just the weirdest experience being able to push the car and save tires at the same time. So come road course week, you'll catch me in those top slope races all the time because I just love running the Xfinity car on the road courses. So I'm excited. I know that this is something odd to hear, but I'm excited for the Chicago Street Course to come up here in about a week or so, because that combo with the Xfinity car, oh my gosh, chef's kiss, just beautiful.
Well, maybe you can teach me a few things about how to drive the Xfinity car on a road course, because I'm going to be trying to get behind the wheel a little bit more often in the Xfinity car in the service, so I can be a little bit more insightful when it comes to talking about them. And I live just outside of Chicago, so you said the magic word, Chicago, and then you said the two curse words, road course, and then I feel like I've got to get involved. I've got to learn, got to throw myself to the lions a little bit, and I got to know my city's idiosyncrasies, man. I got to figure it out.
Actually, matter of fact, Chicago is next week here on iRacing and in real life. So, yeah, catch me Monday night. I'll be in that top split race. I'll be having a freaking blast in that car. Like I said, it is just it is one of the most fun cars on the NASCAR service for the road courses. So, if you're looking for something fun to drive on road courses for just purely NASCAR, Xfinity car. If you're looking for something fun just in general on road courses, IndyCar. So. Totally random, but yes, IndyCar is very fun.
No, it's all right. IndyCar is a good time too. So we'll keep an eye out for both of those. And IndyCar races here at Nashville. So maybe we'll see later on in the season. I think we'll see it come around. We'll probably see some IndyCars here at Nashville.
Actually, the championship race for the IndyCar series. So that'll be a little bit later, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, mid-October. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Mid-September, mid-October, one of those 2 months.
Nice autumn race. Oh, did we just have a position change here? It looks like Thomas Aaron just passed Todd Lee for 7th position. A little bit of shuffling going around in the middle of the race here. Thomas Aaron is one of the survivors of a couple of different things that have happened during tonight's race. Glad to see that he's still in the top 10, pushing his way toward the front.
It's actually mid-September is the IndyCar
mid-September.
finale, so I just
Very
had
good.
to go look that up, but yeah,
Thank
Thomas
you.
Aaron is definitely. If we had a survivor medal for some of these races, Todd Lee would definitely, or not Todd Lee, excuse me, Thomas Aaron would definitely get that survivor medal.
Yeah, especially after tonight, seeing the bumps that he took and getting back up from them. He didn't hear no bell. He's still going. Little loose, little loose. That's okay. Put down the gas a little bit hot coming out. You're going to get a little bit loose again. Like you said, the car wants to be driven in a very specific way. If you put the pedal all the way down in the Xfinity car, your tail's going to wag coming out of these turns here.
Yeah, it's just such a momentum-based car, this Xfinity car is. That's why I love it so much, because it really teaches you how to keep your minimum speed up in these corners. And yes, I know that's a little bit confusing for more of the casual fans of racing, but basically that's the lowest speed you want to hit over a run into the corners. Like, if we take a look at Kyle Bartels going through the corner, I can actually kind of walk you through what he's doing getting into the corner here. So, I mean, of course, he's getting on to the brakes here, because once you do get into a run, you do want to be on the brakes. But you see right there, gets it down to exactly 130 miles an hour and immediately back on the gas. That is minimum speed here on a long run, is 130 miles an hour at the apex when you get back onto the throttle. Down into turn number 3, right on that yellow line. Once again, 130 miles an hour on the dot. Consistency is key in this car. That's a lap here at Nashville, and Kyle Bartels is slowly but surely, that gap is starting to come down for the lead, but we are getting into the closing stages of this race, so I think it's go time if you know a Rainwater to try and catch Kyle Bartels.
Absolutely, and it's going to be tough to catch him when you've got that much air between the two of you. He's going to have to make his minimum speed higher somehow. Even though that maximum minimum speed, like you said, that $130, my money would be on Noah Rainwater going for the exact same minimum speed. He's going to have to find the tenths of seconds that he needs over the next 14 laps to try to close this gap. And he's doing it by doing things like cutting to the inside, doing it by doing things probably by going a little bit hot into the turns. But now is not the time for tire saving. Now is the time for driving hard. Now is not the time for, as much caution. Now is the time to get loose on the exit and really push that car's momentum and throw it through a turn. So if Rainwater can close this gap, and now he's down, he was at about 1.4, now he's down to about 1.1 in the gap. If he can keep shaving, there's going to be a battle for first by the end of this race.
Yeah, for sure. And comparing lap times here, Bartels was actually about a half a tenth slower than Rainwater that last time by. And you said it best. It's time to throw a caution to the wind. There is no point in saving this late into the race, because if you're saving tires at this point, I don't know what you're doing, because it is coming up to the end of this race, and who doesn't want to win this race? Who doesn't want to gain some positions here? And it is all about just throwing caution to the wind and pushing this car as hard as you can to finish off this race. And you see it, Kyle Bartels, he is using, it's that old saying, he paid for the entire track, he's going to use the entire track, and that's exactly what that 95 car is doing right now.
I swear I just saw some smoke pop off the wall as I think Bartels let the weight of the car fly up a little high. If he's getting on the gas right where you say he is at that 130 mark, and he's coming flying out of those things at full throttle, that car wants to ride up to the wall, which means that his counter steering has to be, he has to unload the wheel just enough so that he can get straight before he gets to the wall, and he has to counter steer it just enough so that he doesn't lose control of the car at the same time. So it's a very good chance that he can, in these last couple of laps where he's trying to increase the gap, he could start losing control of his own vehicle. So we'll see as he passes lap car.
Oh, this is going to hurt big time. Look at that gap tumble.
Oh, yeah, Olszewski.
Oh, man.
And now the gap is less than a second.
Yeah, it's closing in on now 8 tenths here for Noah Rainwater. So this just got a lot easier for the 05 and Noah Rainwater. And now Kyle Bartels is punching air right now because of where he caught Andrew Olszewski. And man, that gap's starting to stagnate just a little bit here between Rainwater and Bartels. Sitting right at about 8 tenths, now creeping up towards 9 tenths. So yeah. I wonder, did Rainwater burn his stuff up a little bit too early, or is he just trying to cool the tires off for one final push here?
Yeah, I think part of what's happening here is, yeah, Rainwater is doing what every car is doing right now, which is dealing with Olszewski. Every car has to safely get around him. Every car doesn't want to lose their place in these and get these and lose, first, second, third place All of these lead cars have to avoid this lap car, and every one of them is going to lose a few tenths, just lose a tenth or two on that. But the gap now, without the car now, if we look closer, the gap now is tightening. So whatever was happening to Bartles and Rainwater, it looks like it's happening to Bartles more.
I think somebody may have just blown a motor, possibly, from what we're hearing. May have been Olazewski that blew a motor, from what we're hearing. Yeah, he did.
Oh no! Well, he's out down to the inside now, parked there with the
That
groundskeeping
won't
team.
be a caution.
No way.
Rainwater's closing. He is closing very quickly. He's about 0.2 of a second a lap faster than the 95 of Kyle Bartles here. And this could get interesting. Bartles is not a playoff driver, so this could get really interesting based on kind of what's all going to happen with kind of the playoff and how it's going to look after this, because I do believe that Noah Rainwater is a playoff driver, so this would automatically lock himself into the next round if he were to be able to get past Bartles and get this win here.
He would indeed. And speaking of the playoffs, Jordan Durasic still sitting in 12th with 6 to go. I don't think he's going to be able to push his way back any further than the top 10 unless we were to see something really drastic happen in the next couple of moments here. The battle is really the battle between first and second place, between Bartles and Rainwater. And Bartles with the 21 place charge.
Bartles taps the wall there off of 4. Rainwater closing. He's in the draft, but crucially enough for Kyle Bartles, Rainwater's in that dirty air bubble. So with this Xfinity car, while these cars don't produce a lot of downforce, they produce a lot of dirty air. And when you're within 0.3 of a second, you're in that dirty air bubble. So all the air is being taken off the splitter, so the car doesn't turn as well as you're used to in clean air, and you're not producing enough downforce to be able to keep up. So that's what we say. That's what we mean when we're saying this is becoming a dirty air race, and that's what it's going to become here as Rainwater's in that dirty air, and now Kyle Bartles is going to be in the dirty air of the 45 of Matt Cherry here. Looks like Cherry's going to get out of the way, but Bartles got really tight, so now we're going to have a battle for the race lead here with just 5 laps to go at Nashville Superspeedway. Rainwater looking to the outside, Bartles looking to the outside of Matt Cherry. Now Rainwater having to be on the bumper. They're going to make contact off of turn number 4. Contact between your 2 leaders, 4 laps to go now at Nashville.
45 Matt Cherry throwing the unintentional block.
And he's going to get up into the wall, just get out of the way of this race for the win here.
Wow. What a save by Kyle Bartles, having to check up on Matt Cherry like that, causing this race to become even closer as the lap car does its best to get out of the way and just pick its lane to avoid the 2 leaders. That contact could have been the end of it from Kyle Bartles, but he held on to it with such tenacity.
3 to go now in Nashville. Bartles starting to eke that gap out just a little bit more. That dirty air bubble starting to come into play. And now I wonder, did Noah Rainwater push a little bit too early here? As now that gap's starting to close in just a little bit with the draft down the back straightaway.
We are coming up on our next lapped car here, too. It's not going to be a race that'll end before we have another piece of traffic potentially stirring the pot at the top of the race. We saw what happened last time. Bartles hit the brakes. He had to check up. He had to find a safe line. He can't risk it. And if he risks it for the biscuit here, it could be the end of it. Let's hope the 63 stays on the outside.
Looks like he will, but it also looks like Rainwater's really starting to fall off here. So Rainwater may have pushed a little bit too hard, a little bit too early, as now Kyle Bartles working down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. And as they come off of turn number 4, they're going to get to see the white flag here at Nashville Superspeedway. One more time around for Kyle Bartles to secure his 2nd win in a row here in the Thunderclap iRacing Series. Rainwater now working his way past Clapper. And now Bartles just 2 more corners to go for his 2nd career win, as now Clapper having to get out of the way of Noah Rainwater. And it doesn't look like anything is going to happen for our race for the win at the moment. But down into turn 3 and 4, it looks like it's going to be 2 in a row for Kyle Bartles as Rainwater slaps the wall off of turn number 4. Kyle Bartles 2 for 2 in the last 2 races.
Excellent. Well, I know who I've got for my pick for the next race. The first 2 races I call for Grid Vision are 2 victories for Kyle Bartles.
Kyle
Beautiful.
Bartle wins it here late as Noah Rainwater finishes in second place. Matt Garrett comes home in third position. Tristan Bruce fourth. Matt Holmes rounds out your top 5 here. And you see Matt Garrett giving a couple of congratulatory revs of the engine to the 95 of Kyle Bartles. I wonder, is Kyle Bartles out of fuel?
He very well could be. Just coasting to a finish. It looks like he's all right now. He's wiggling around. He's having a good time.
I think he may be just doing some celebratory weaves there. That would be peak Nashville, though, running out of fuel, coming to do your burnouts.
Right at the end of your first playoff race here on Thunderclap, and our playoff leader, the leader going into the playoffs, finishing 11th place, taking a back seat at the end of this stage to let the other guys get a little bit of a lead on him. Make it interesting.
Hey,
writing his name in cursive.
A little opportunity as we see Kyle Bartles burning it down here at Nashville Superspeedway, taking his second career win in the Thunderclap iRacing Series and his second win in a row here. Once in the Cup car, once in the Xfinity car. Jordan Durasic, you may have some competition.
Congratulations again, Kyle Bartles. And to Noah Rainwater and Matt Garrett, our 1, 2, 3 on the race tonight.
With that, we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break of the night. Stay right here. Post-race coverage and post-race interviews right after this. Back live here at Nashville Superspeedway. Post-race coverage here on Grid Vision. Kyle Bartles takes one and actually dominates on the night, leads 72 and takes home his second career win of the Thunderclap iRacing Series. Noah Rainwater comes up short just at the end. He finishes second. Matt Garrett rounds out your third place, or your top 3 here tonight. Tristan Bruce, Matt Holmes, your top 5. Thomas Aaron, Joshua Corner, Anthony Burleson, and Austin Cooper, and Todd Lee round out your top 10 here tonight.
And what a race it was. I got to say that some of the best drivers we've seen, some of the hardest driving we've seen came out of Kyle Bartles with that 21 places gained and 72 laps led, all in stage 3, I'm pretty sure, or a few of them in stage 2. And now let's go on to the rest of the race here. Jordan Durasic, our playoff leader, in 11th place. 12th place, Brandon Schumann. 13th, Gregory Shepsis. 14th, Matt Sherry. 15th, Justin Clapper. 16th place, Andrew Olszewski. 17th place, Matt Montgomery. 18th, Chase Albright. 19th, Brendan Slew. And 20th, Robert Colgan.
Rounding out your 23 car field here tonight, Robert Walton, Bo Condon, and Stephen Lachinsky did not start tonight, but that is going to take us straight into our post-race interviews. Going to speak first with our third place finisher, Matt Garrett. How you doing tonight?
A little tired after that one.
As you should be. Nashville always takes it out of you, especially in a car like the Xfinity car. But you had pace for what seemed like a win here tonight in that 19 machine, but you ended up getting caught on the outside, but had to work your way up. Kind of talk us through that race.
Yeah, the passing was a real premium there. When you were on the outside, there was no advantage, and you and the inside car would just hold each other up and let the car in front of you go away. We were talking about tire wear a little while ago, and it seemed like once you ran a little bit, you got a good gap, everybody's tires would pretty much do the same thing. So you wouldn't be able to close the gap to the car in front of you unless he really screwed up. And you know, as you saw by those restarts, we were taking everything we can get there.
Yeah, he ended up bringing home a third place finish here tonight, and I believe you are in the playoffs, so being able to start the playoffs like that should be a pretty good momentum boost going into next week at Chicago, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. We didn't get a lot of bonus points throughout the season. Didn't get any win points. So our strategy is just to continue what we did all season long and just top 5 everybody.
Well, you ended up doing that tonight. Before we let you go, who do you got to thank?
The entire TTR team, especially my teammate Robbie Walton. We did a lot of practicing last night. Really learned a lot. My spotter Sean did a great job as usual. Grid Vision, of course, you guys did a fantastic job as always. Thunderclap, you know, what can I say? Just been fantastic the entire time, and all the drivers in Thunderclap. It's a real pleasure to race with these guys every week.
Well, thank you, Matt Garrett, for taking the time to talk to us. Congratulations on the P3 tonight.
Thank you.
That's Matt Garrett, your third place finisher. Now get to speak with
What's up,
our
brother?
second place finisher, Noah Rainwater. He's with Joe LaCastra.
Hey, Noah, how are you tonight?
Good. That was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Unbelievable racing by you, getting the second place finish. I was watching during the second stage especially. I think you were my VIP during the second stage of that race, where I really saw you starting to move up a little bit, make those moves. Tell us a little bit about what you were feeling looking at the first place positions, changing hands between Jurassic, Bartles. What was your strategy to try to stay in that top pack?
Well, I thought Bartles had no tires left, so when that last caution came out, I thought he was pretty much screwed, but he saved the set, so he went right there, and I knew my tires were pretty decent on the long run, and I just wanted to back it down, which, I mean, y'all saw Bartles just drove away at the start on that stage, the final stage. I was just kind of cruising until about 25 to go, and then I started to throw the brake pads down and try to move up, but the tires seemed like they evened out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mistakes.
Saw that big push at the last lap too. We saw you tap the wall a little bit there, trying to give it. Was that one big last send, trying to catch up to Bartles?
Sort of, yeah. I didn't want to send it that hard. I got really tight and stuff, but yeah, I was really wanting to get to that bumper and get that playoff win.
Well, you got second place there, and I think you got second place during stage 2 as well. But this is another top 5 for you, and so I want to congratulate you. Say, way to go on your second place. And is there anybody you'd like to thank before we head out?
Yeah, shout out to Extreme Graphics for coming on board. They helped me a lot with my real life racing stuff. Back tours, Luke's Playhouse, SB Fabrication, family downstairs. Hot dang, all the boys in the group chat cheering me on.
That's what we like to hear. Thank you very much, Noah. I hope you have a great rest of your night. And I'm going to pass it back to you, Nick.
Noah Rainwater, your second place finisher. Now we get to speak with your two-time race winner in the Thunderclap iRacing Series, 2 in a row for Mr. Kyle Bartles. How you doing tonight, Kyle?
Feeling pretty good. Didn't expect that win. Tried a different strategy there at the beginning of the race. Just only having 2 sets, and felt pretty good going through stage 2. That was really fun, stage 2, passing everybody like that on the same kind of tire strategy. And yeah, we got the dub. I'm pretty excited.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to cover your first win last week in Iowa, so I guess we kind of owe you a double interview here. So we'll go ahead and call this your interview from last week and this week's win. So unfortunately, you aren't in the playoffs, but this would have been a really good start heading into next week. I believe it's trucks at Chicago Street Course. How are you feeling for that one? That one's going to be interesting.
No comment. We'll see. That will be. I'll definitely have to practice that one. Even when it came out last year on iRacing, you can probably count how many laps on my hand, how many laps I've ran around that track. So I like road courses. That'll be fun. But Chicago Street Course with the walls being pretty close, really close to you, that'll be really interesting with the whole field here. Hopefully we get a full field. Just an example, I'm not in the playoffs like you said, and I'm here out, having fun every week. And but yeah, I'm shooting for the best of the rest, of course, and right now I'm P1 on that. So that's my goal right now for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and I was actually wrong. It is next gen at Chicago Street Course. So
That's even worse.
Yeah.
How bumpy that track is.
Like I said, you heard both the disgust out of mine and yours voice, so that'll be a fun one next week there at Chicago. Before we let you go for the night, who else do you got to think? Who gets it done for you?
I'd like to thank the mid-pack. Again, I'm in alliance with them. Robert, you guys do a great job. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my interview last week, so just want to double down on thanking you guys and doing this. But yeah, just go out every week and just do the best I can. And right now, I got some good momentum. Unfortunately, it's a road course next week, but we'll try to get her done.
Congratulations on the win tonight, Kyle, and double congratulations for 2 in a row here in the Thunderclap iRacing Series. First 2 career wins here in this league. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, guys.
As Kyle Bartles, your race winner, and I believe that is going to do it for us here tonight. And do we have a schedule? I do not know if we have a schedule. It looks like we do, so we'll go ahead and run through the rest of the week here on Grid Vision. Tomorrow night, it is the High Slide Racing League Truck Series from Watkins Glen. That one is going to be fun. I am personally excited for that. It is going to be me and Sheldon Adkins on the call for that, for the High Slide Racing League Truck Series. Tune in at 8:20 Eastern tomorrow night. Gonna be a fun one there, and then come back here Friday night at 9 o'clock Eastern for Retro Performance Friday night NIS Top Split coverage from Nashville Superspeedway. And of course, that'll do it for the week. We are all booked up during the week. And if you want some weekend packages, starting at $75 a race there on those weekend slots. But before we get going for the night, Joe, any final thoughts from you?
Well, as usual, just glad to be here, Nick. It's been a wonderful time calling with you. This is my second race here for Grid Vision, and I'm looking forward to doing many, many more. I'll keep it short and simple.
Hey, fair enough, but that will do it from us here tonight. From the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your lead broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, come do what me and Joe do on a weekly basis. Contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Special thanks to Andrew Cardinal IV of Whiplash Sim Camps for providing the cameras used on tonight's broadcast. And congratulations to Kyle Bartles going 2 for 2 in the last 2 races here on Iowa last week and Nashville Superspeedway tonight. This has been Nick Stein. Of course, you've got Joe LaCastro on the color and Austin Derbyshire in the production truck. Catch us tomorrow night for the High Slide Racing League Truck Series once again, but that is going to do it for us here tonight. We'll see you next time on The Grid.